Amazing benefits and weird side effects of creatine. What if one of the most popular supplements in the world could help your muscles look fuller, make your workouts feel stronger, and even give you more confidence, yet still leave you scratching your head over a few unexpected changes? That's exactly why creatine continues to fascinate millions of people. For decades, athletes, gym-goers, and everyday adults have used creatine to support strength, performance, and muscle health. It's one of the most studied supplements ever created, and the research behind it is impressive. But here's the interesting part. Even with all that research, many people are still surprised by what actually happens when they start taking it. Some of the changes are exciting. You may notice fuller muscles, better workout performance, or faster recovery. Others are completely unexpected, like sudden weight fluctuations, increased thirst, or changes that seem strange until you understand what's really happening inside your body. And a few effects are so surprising that almost nobody talks about them. That's why in today's video, we're breaking down 9 amazing benefits and surprising side effects of creatine. The good, the unexpected, and the ones that catch most people completely off guard. By the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of what creatine actually does, what changes are normal, and what you can realistically expect if you decide to try it yourself. And trust me, number 8 is the one that surprises almost everyone. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Your muscles may look fuller. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wished your muscles looked a little bigger and more defined without having to gain a bunch of body fat first? If so, this might be one of the first things you notice after starting creatine. Many people are surprised by how quickly their muscles begin to look fuller. In some cases, the change appears within the first couple of weeks, long before any major increases in strength or muscle size have had time to develop. So what's going on? One of creatine's main jobs is helping pull water into your muscle cells. As those muscles become more hydrated, they can appear slightly larger, firmer, and more pumped than before. It's almost like your muscles are getting filled from the inside out. Now, this isn't the same thing as suddenly building several pounds of new muscle overnight. Real muscle growth still takes time, proper training, and good nutrition. But the visual effect can be noticeable enough that many people see a difference in the mirror fairly early on. For some, it's seeing their arms look a little fuller. For others, it's noticing that their muscles seem more defined, or that their clothes fit differently around their shoulders and chest. And honestly, that early visual change can be incredibly motivating. It gives people a sense that their efforts are paying off and encourages them to stay consistent with their workouts and healthy habits. In fact, for many creatine users, this fuller, healthier-looking appearance becomes the very first sign that something is changing, and it's often what keeps them excited about the progress still to come. Number 2. You may gain weight, but not the way you think now. Here's the part that makes a lot of people nervous. You've been taking creatine for a week or two, everything seems fine, and then you step on the scale. Suddenly, the number is higher, and almost immediately, panic sets in. Am I gaining fat? For many people, that's the first thought that comes to mind, but the reality is often very different from what they assume. One of the most common effects of creatine is increased water storage inside your muscle cells. As your muscles become more hydrated, they naturally hold more water, and yes, that extra water can show up on the scale. The important thing to understand is that a higher body weight doesn't automatically mean more body fat. In fact, many people experience this increase before they notice any major improvements in strength, performance, or muscle growth. It's simply one of the earliest signs that creatine is doing what it's designed to do. That's what makes this effect so confusing. Technically, you may weigh a few pounds more than before, but that doesn't necessarily mean you've gained fat. Your muscles are simply holding more water, which can actually help them perform better and look fuller. For some people, this is encouraging because their muscles appear larger and more defined. For others, especially those focused on weight loss, it can feel frustrating or even alarming. That's why understanding what's really happening is so important. The scale only tells part of the story. Before assuming something has gone wrong, remember that not all weight gain is created equal. Sometimes you're heavier, but not fatter, and knowing that difference can save you a lot of unnecessary stress, confusion, and second-guessing along the way. Number 3. Your workouts may feel more productive. Have you ever finished a workout and thought, wow, I feel like I could have done a little more? That's something many creatine users report after taking it consistently for a few weeks. One of creatine's biggest benefits is its ability to help support the body's production of quick energy during short bursts of intense activity. Whether you're lifting weights, doing resistance training, sprinting, or pushing through a challenging workout, your muscles rely on rapid energy to perform at their best. As creatine stores gradually build up inside your muscles, many people notice that workouts start feeling a little smoother. They may be able to squeeze out an extra repetition, recover more comfortably between sets, or maintain their performance longer before fatigue begins to set in. The interesting thing is that the change usually isn't dramatic. You probably won't wake up one morning feeling like a completely different person. Creatine doesn't work like a stimulant, and it doesn't create an instant surge of energy. Instead, the effect is often subtle. Maybe today's workout feels slightly easier than last week's. Maybe you're recovering a little faster between exercises. Maybe you're finishing your session with more energy left in the tank than usual. Those small improvements may not seem like much at first, but they have a powerful way of adding up. An extra rep here, a little more endurance there, slightly better recovery week after week. Over time, those small gains can translate into significant improvements in strength, performance, and overall fitness. And that's one of the reasons creatine has remained so popular for decades. The benefits may start small, but when they compound over time, they can make a surprisingly big difference. Number 4. You might feel thirstier than usual. Here's a side effect that doesn't get nearly enough attention. Many people start taking creatine and suddenly notice something unexpected. They can't seem to stay away from their water bottle. Sound familiar? One of the things creatine does is help your muscles store more water. As those muscles become more hydrated, your body may naturally start asking for more fluids to keep everything balanced and functioning properly. As a result, many users find themselves feeling thirstier throughout the day. They may notice they're drinking more water than usual, refilling their bottle more often, or thinking about hydration in a way they never did before. At first, this can be a little surprising. Some people wonder if something is wrong because they seem thirsty all the time. But in many cases, it's simply your body's way of adapting to the changes happening inside your muscles. The good news is that this isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it often encourages people to improve their hydration habits. And considering how many adults walk around mildly dehydrated without realizing it, that's not the worst side effect in the world. The only problem comes when people ignore those signals. If your body is asking for more fluids and you're not providing them, you may start feeling sluggish, tired, or less energetic than expected. That's why hydration becomes such an important part of using creatine successfully. So if you find yourself reaching for your water bottle more often after starting creatine, don't be surprised. For many users, it's one of the earliest and most overlooked changes they experience. And while it may catch you off guard at first, it's often just a sign that your body is adapting to the way creatine works. Number 5. Recovery may get easier. What if the biggest benefit of creatine has nothing to do with building bigger muscles? For many people, the real game changer is recovery. Think about it. A great workout is important, but if your body takes days to recover afterward, it becomes much harder to stay consistent. That's where some users notice one of creatine's most valuable effects. After taking creatine consistently, many people report feeling less worn out after their workouts. Their muscles may feel fresher, soreness may not linger quite as long, and they often feel more ready to get back to exercising again. Now, this doesn't mean you'll never feel sore. Challenging workouts are still challenging workouts. But even a small improvement in recovery can make a big difference over time. And that difference becomes especially important as we get older. As the years go by, recovery tends to take longer. Muscles may need more time to bounce back, and it's easier to fall into a cycle where soreness and fatigue make you want to skip your next workout. When recovery improves, even slightly, staying active becomes easier. You're more likely to stick with your walking routine, strength training program, or favorite physical activities because your body feels ready to move again sooner. And honestly, that may be one of the biggest advantages any fitness supplement can offer. Because long-term results don't come from one amazing workout. They come from showing up consistently week after week. If creatine helps you recover a little better and stay active a little more often, those benefits can compound over time. And in the long run, consistency is often far more powerful than any single workout ever could be. Number 6. Digestive issues can happen if you overdo it. Now, let's talk about one of the less enjoyable side effects some people experience. Have you ever started a new supplement and felt like your stomach wasn't exactly happy about it? That can happen with creatine. Some users report bloating, stomach discomfort, cramping, or digestive issues shortly after they begin taking it. Naturally, their first reaction is often, "Creatine must not agree with me." But here's the interesting part. In many cases, the problem isn't actually creatine itself. The real culprit is often the amount being taken. Many beginners make the mistake of thinking that bigger doses will produce faster results. They see loading protocols online, grab a large scoop, and assume more creatine must mean more muscle and quicker progress. Unfortunately, their digestive system often has a different opinion. When large amounts are taken at once, the stomach may struggle to process it comfortably, leading to the bloating and digestive discomfort people blame on the supplement. The good news is that this issue is often easy to avoid. For many people, a simple daily serving works perfectly well and is much gentler on the body. Instead of overwhelming your system, it allows your muscles to gradually build up their creatine stores over time. And remember, creatine isn't a race. You don't have to force huge amounts into your body to see results. In fact, consistency is usually far more important than quantity. That's why experienced users often focus on taking a reasonable daily dose and sticking with it. Sometimes the smartest strategy isn't taking more, it's taking just enough. And in many cases, that small adjustment can make the entire creatine experience much more comfortable and enjoyable. Number 7. You may start feeling stronger. Have you ever noticed that confidence usually comes from one simple thing, feeling capable? That's exactly what happens for many people as they continue taking creatine and sticking with their workouts. The changes don't usually arrive all at once. In fact, they're often so small at first that they're easy to overlook. Maybe you squeeze out one extra repetition during a workout. Maybe you lift a slightly heavier weight than you could a few weeks ago. Maybe carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or getting through a busy day suddenly feels a little easier than before. On their own, those improvements may not seem very impressive. But something interesting happens when those small wins start piling up. You begin noticing that you're stronger than you used to be. You start feeling more capable, and with that capability often comes confidence. Instead of wondering whether you can complete a workout, you start expecting to. Instead of worrying about physical tasks, you begin trusting your body a little more. That mental shift can be incredibly powerful. The best part is that these gains tend to build on each other over time. One extra rep becomes 2. A slightly heavier weight becomes a new personal best. Small improvements gradually turn into meaningful progress, and progress is motivating. The more progress people see, the more likely they are to stay consistent with exercise, healthy habits, and their overall fitness goals. That's why many experienced creatine users say the biggest benefit isn't just the physical strength they gain, it's the confidence that comes from realizing they're getting stronger. Because once you start seeing what your body is capable of, it becomes a lot easier to believe that even more improvement is possible. Number 8. The weirdest side effect: more confidence. Now here's the one almost nobody sees coming. When people talk about creatine, they usually focus on the physical changes: bigger muscles, better workouts, improved strength, or faster recovery. But for many people, one of the most powerful effects has nothing to do with muscles at all. It starts with progress. Maybe you notice you're lifting a little more weight, maybe your workouts feel easier, maybe you're recovering faster, or simply feeling stronger during everyday activities. At first, these improvements seem small, but then something interesting begins to happen. Your confidence starts growing. You stop doubting whether you can finish a workout. You start looking forward to exercise instead of avoiding it. You feel more motivated to stay active because you're finally seeing proof that your efforts are paying off. And that motivation often leads to something even more important: consistency. When people feel encouraged by their progress, they're more likely to keep showing up. They exercise more regularly, make healthier choices, and stay committed to their goals. Over time, they begin believing something many people lose sight of: their body is still capable of improving. That mindset shift can be incredibly powerful, especially for people who have struggled with fitness, aging, injuries, or years of frustration. The truth is that confidence isn't something you can buy in a supplement bottle. But when a supplement helps support progress, and progress helps build confidence, the results can be life-changing. It's not listed on the label. It's not something supplement companies advertise. Yet for many people, increased confidence becomes one of the most valuable side effects of all. Because once you start believing you can improve, you're far more likely to keep moving forward, and that's where the real transformation begins. Number 9. You realize creatine isn't magic. And finally, let's talk about what may be the most important lesson of all. After weeks or even months of taking creatine, many people come to the same realization. Creatine isn't a miracle supplement, and honestly, that's exactly why it works so well. It won't do your workouts for you. It won't magically build muscle while you sit on the couch. It won't replace healthy meals, quality sleep, or regular physical activity. Those things will always be the foundation of real progress. What creatine does exceptionally well is support the habits that create results in the first place. It can help you get a little more out of your workouts. It may help you recover more effectively. It can support strength, performance, and muscle health over time. But all of those benefits work best when they're built on a solid foundation of consistency. If you look at the people who tend to get the most out of creatine, they usually have a few things in common. They stay active. They prioritize hydration, they pay attention to recovery, they show up consistently even when motivation isn't perfect. In other words, they focus on the basics. Creatine simply helps support those efforts. Think of it like a helpful teammate rather than the star player. It can give you an advantage, but it can't replace the work that leads to meaningful results. And honestly, that's probably a good thing. Because the progress you earn through consistent habits tends to last much longer than anything promised by a quick fix. At the end of the day, creatine can be a valuable tool, but the real transformation comes from the choices you make every day, and that's something no supplement can do for you. So, those are 9 amazing benefits and weird side effects of creatine, from fuller muscles and better workouts to increased thirst, temporary weight gain, and even a boost in confidence. Creatine can affect your body in ways many people never expect. The key is understanding what's normal, what isn't, and how to use the supplement responsibly. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever taken creatine? What was the first benefit or weird side effect you noticed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more honest health and fitness content without the hype. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.